Is it live? It looks like it is. So, is there anyone over there? Say hi if you are. Just type something in so I know you guys are watching. We just want to make sure that the video is working for now. So if you can just go there and click, say hi Lacey, it's fine. Maybe you could go over there and see if you saw the, yeah. So let's wait a little bit. Okay, well, the Instagram is on, which is great. Hello guys, how are you? This is Lacey, I'm a patient. We're just waiting for the Facebook Live to start as well. And in a minute, we're going to start our live session today. I'm actually the guest and I'm starting it. So, is Facebook working already? So today's the day for you guys to ask questions about treatment and all. I've been coming here for a while already, but I want to introduce. Okay, so it is working. Hello everyone. This is Lacey. You guys on Instagram don't know me, but I'm an image consultant from the Brazilian Style Academy. And I'm a patient here of PA Clark. And I'm so honored that I am a patient today.
Good morning, good morning.
So the idea is that the first time I came here, I had just so many questions, and because I'm an image consultant, I realized that I had to know the answers to help both my clients and also the students I teach, so that they can make, perfect decisions when it's about their skin rejuvenation.
You can make better choices.
Yes, and then there's no better person to help us with that than Mr. Clark himself. So today you're going to watch actually a consultation, isn't it?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do, we're going to answer some general questions that you may have. Some of these questions you already know, some you didn't know, some you didn't know even existed. So let's get started.
Yes, I think it's been a little louder, yeah. Well, so first, I think you should look at me and what do I need to have done? So, am I looking too bad? I know not.
No. Now, the first thing you should do, number one, is always get research before you come to the office. That being said, while you're here, make sure you point out some of the things that bothered you in the past or some of the things that are bothering you now, so I have a framework to work with. So, Lacey, what has bothered you in the past?
So, well, I have a very thin skin.
I see.
So it's always been very easy for me to have those fine wrinkles, and also due to some time that I frowned too much.
I see.
And I think my muscles are just too strong. I'm not sure. It's very easy for me to have very deep lines.
I see. So what I'm looking at least based upon what she's telling me, is I do see some static lines. And they're also dynamic lines. These static and dynamic is just a difference in whether the lines are going to stay there after you finish animating or frowning or smiling. If the lines stay there, we call them static. So we have a few static lines, but Lacey, have you ever had any Botox or Dysport or Xeomin treatments in the past?
Yeah, well, it's hard for me to tell you which one I have had or not, because I remember that before I met you, I've had different products being used for to freeze.
Do you remember the name of one of the products?
Well, Botox for sure, but I think there's another one with this Dysport.
And there's a third called Xeomin.
Yeah, so, I think I've had the three of them.
Right. So basically, there are three botulinum products available within the U.S. market. There's the original Botox, there's Dysport, and there's Xeomin. All three of them pretty much do the same thing. Some have its disadvantages and advantages. Dysport is going to work much quicker, and Dysport is more widely known in the South American, the European markets. Botox is more widely known in the US markets. Botox will take approximately 5 to 10 days to start working. The duration of action for all of the products is relatively anywhere between 3 and 5 months, average being 4 months.
Okay, but then how can I make the right decision in choosing one over the other?
If you've been treated with one product and you've loved that product, then stick with that product. However, it's not bad to try different products to see how quick it starts to work and how long it lasts. However, I will say, if I have a patient coming to me and it's Thursday or Wednesday and she wants to party on Saturday, I'm using Dysport because it's going to work a little quicker. So Dysport is #1 in the world. Botox is #1 in the US. Both are excellent products, and yeah.
So the difference will be basically when I want to see the results, like by when. If I need something immediately.
Absolutely.
I need, say that I have time to come here now, but the moment that I want to look my best is in 3 weeks.
Then either product would be fine. Botox would be fine. Dysport would be fine. If there's an emergent scenario, you have a wedding in 2-3 days, and you want those results to at least start working, then you'll choose Dysport.
So, but there's no difference considering what kind of skin it's being applied to?
No, all 3 products are botulinum type A. Period. So they're all going to do relatively the same thing, which is to relax the muscles and reduce the formation of lines and reduce the visible lines you see.
Okay, so this is tricky because you're saying that we have to relax the muscles.
Yes.
And I've always heard that Botox or whatever product freezes your muscles.
So here's another difference, DC.
Okay.
There's so many differences. Now, we can either relax the muscle or we can freeze the muscle.
Oh, okay.
I would say first time patients always, it's better to just relax the muscles where there is still some movement and it looks super natural. However, as time goes on, I found that most patients tend to want it frozen because #1, to them it seems like it lasts a little longer, and after a while, I feel that patients start to love the frozen look if it is done well, not if it is done with a surprised look.
Okay, so what you're saying is that freezing the muscle is actually a result of relaxing the muscles more?
It's a result of the technique and the pattern you use to allow a natural result. So
it's the same thing?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
I can freeze your muscles and still make you look supernatural, or I can just relax them and make it look supernatural.
Yeah, I think women's concern is basically that you don't want to look like a doll that has no movement. It's
Absolutely.
always been my concern. And what I have learned is that you can just look your best, younger, healthy. You don't have to worry about really being looking like a doll or someone
Absolutely.
that's got no movement, but it makes a difference if you choose the right professional and the right product, I believe.
Absolutely. In my 15 years of injecting botulinum or Botox Dysport, I found that there are many ways you can create any particular look. So when you're with your doctor or physician assistant or nurse practitioner who's applying the product, make sure they can explain to you the different patterns they are using to create the look that you want, because not one treatment works for everyone. So freezing the muscles may be a great option for you, but also relaxing may be a great option. And your provider needs to understand that he can do one or the other.
Okay, and why is it? Was there a? Oh, it's just frozen, but I think it's still going. If anyone is on Facebook, please just let us know that it's still working. Our screen is frozen here.
Our screen is a little frozen.
Yeah, I think the screen has just had Botox. So I think the question would be, why does it last longer for some patients than others? Like, I realize that it doesn't last as long for me as it does to other people.
Okay, so longevity, or how long the product lasts, is really subjective. We don't know why a product may last longer in any one particular patient. We can just say sometimes it's that patient's physiology that allows their muscles to recuperate quicker. For example, runners, very thin individuals with a high metabolism rate, they seem to have a shorter duration of the Botox treatment. So for example, that's right, if you're in the gym 3, 4, 5 days a week, you're a runner, you're a cyclist, you have high intensity lifestyle, you'll find that your Botox may wear off by about 3 months as opposed to 4 or 5. I've encountered patients where I've used this sport and it's lasted 5, 6, 7 plus months.
Okay, so taking care of your body will actually go against taking care of your face, because if you worry about how fit you are, then your Botox will not last as long.
Yeah, here's my rule of thumb. When you're in the gym or when you're taking care of your body, from the neck down can be amazing. But the face doesn't do the same as the body. So the face doesn't respond the same. So for example, if you're in the gym and you really want to lose some weight, you want to cut a little fat, create a little more muscle, look trim, that's great. But if you lose fat in the face, it's not going to be as great.
Wait to restart here because we got
So
frozen.
we will continue shortly. We're having a little technical issue with
Facebook,
one of the
but we will
Facebook lives.
restart. I'll just go with all description and return. There we go, we're back on. I just hope people will see we restarted. Okay, anyway, I think we should just keep going
Okay.
with the people on Instagram because they're there and it doesn't seem to have
Absolutely.
any problem.
All right. So that is the diaspora of botulinum: Botox, Dysport, and Xeomin.
Okay, and then I just got a question here that Claire asked that what have I done that I look so polished and
Well,
stuff.
here's the thing: one treatment alone of any one particular product doesn't do an amazing job for everything. So if you look at Lisi looks very nice. She has very smooth skin, you know, there's very little to no lines, there's nice fullness, and this is not one product. One product can never do that. So there's a combination of products. There's a little bit of botulinum, which is Dysport or Botox, and there's also fillers. Fillers is another category that we will discuss, and fillers are generally used below the eyes. So basically in the cheeks, nasolabial folds, jawline, in the chin, the lips, the nose. So
I haven't
basically-
had all of that done yet. No, I have not. Not yet. In the future, maybe.
So basically, Dysport or Botox above the eyes, fillers below the eyes, generally.
Okay, but then it's also different in terms of what result they will give, right?
Absolutely.
Because like you said before, Botox or whatever brand it is will freeze or relax the muscle.
Correct.
And the filler will do as it says in the word, will fill.
It will give you volume.
But then sometimes I have seen people say that they have had fillers on the forehead or stuff.
So most of the time this would be inaccurate, maybe 99% of the time. Fillers can be done on the forehead in very experienced hands,
Okay.
but it's not something that's generally done, and it's not something that's generally needed or necessary for a client. If filler is done on the forehead, it has to be very soft, low G prime and high flexible product where we're not worried about bumps and lumps and indurations on the forehead, because the skin on the forehead is very thin. So the skin below the eyes, which is in the cheeks and so forth, is very full, and there's tissue there, there's muscle, there's fat, there's skin, so that can hold the product. On the forehead, it doesn't hold the product that well. I've done fillers on the forehead many times, but it's not necessarily always the case that you would ever need to do it on your forehead. So bottom line, stay away from fillers on the forehead for now, because generally 99.9% of the time it's not necessary.
Okay, and when should I start having all of these treatments? Because I know that many people are basically afraid of needles. I have always been tremendously afraid, like I ran from needles.
So here's
literally.
the thing. Some people say, I'll wait until my 40th birthday. Why? Why wait so long? By the time you reach 40, you probably will have so much more lines and more hollowness that you'll have to do so much more product. My answer to that, when should I start aesthetic treatments or rejuvenation, is when it starts to bother you. If you come to me, you're over 21 years old, and anything bothers you, that's when we can start. Because the whole point is to look your best all the time. Not look your best at 40, but look your best all the time. And for example, if you're doing your hair, if you do nothing to your hair and you just kind of let it stay, no conditioner, very little wash, you don't trim, you don't cut the ends, what happens over time? It's never gonna look its best. And this is the same with the skin or the face. If you're doing nothing, how can it possibly look its best? I'm not saying it's not possible, it can be. But we know what life does, and life moves forward and aging continues. So what we're doing is we're slowing down the aging process, creating a look that you like, that's very natural to your face and keeps your image as strong as possible.
Well, I'm not one of those women who's afraid of saying how old they are.
How old are you, Lissy?
So I am 46, going on to 47.
Very good.
And I am happy to say that I am happy with my face. I'm happy with what I have brought, to today. However, would I say that I may look this good for my age because I started having these treatments early, because I did have my very first Botox when I was 25.
25 years old.
Or do I have to say thank you to my genes?
It's a little bit of both. There's always going to be the genetic component, and there will always be the treatment component. Now, does every 21 or 25-year-old needs treatment? Not really. Again, is there something that bothers you? Is there something that you feel could look better? In that case, you do it. Really doesn't matter the age, it really doesn't matter what's going on around you. If you want your hair or your nails or your body to look amazing, you're going to do something about it. If you want your face to look better beyond what you're currently doing every day, then Dysport, Botox or fillers would be the answer.
You said that from this area up, it would be Botox?
So from crow's feet up would be Dysport or Botox.
Okay, and then from here down, it would be the filler.
It would be the filler.
Okay, therefore, they will probably be needed at different times in life.
Absolutely, very good point. Lisi is very smart. So here's the thing. We age different, and each area ages different as well. So what are we looking at? We're looking at skin, we're looking at bone, we're looking at fat, and we're looking at the ligaments that hold everything together. These age a little different. So based upon your genes or your genetic makeup, your cheeks may age before your temples, or your lips may age before your nose. And this is why people come in to do different areas at different times of their lives.
Many years ago, I think when I had just started, that I had just learned about Botox. And at that time it was only Botox, there were not other brands, at least not in Brazil, where I come from. I remember that there was this doctor who actually applied it to my cheek.
To your cheeks. Did you like the result?
I hated the result.
Why did you hate the result?
I couldn't feel them move.
I see.
And when I smiled, nobody really noticed. It was too bad.
It was too bad.
Yeah.
And how long ago was that, Lisi?
Oh.
10 plus years?
Yeah, 10 plus
Okay.
years.
So here's the thing. Today, we have so many products that avoids those issues. So the type of product that you use was probably a product that was very stiff, very high G prime, and less flexible, much less flexibility. So that combination is not the best for your face at that time. Today, there's so many more products, especially within the Restylane family of products or the Juvederm family, that have a lower G prime or lower stiffness and higher flexibility that allows your cheeks to move when you smile. So you're not pushing your cheeks so high that it makes your eyes look smaller.
Yeah, the reason she did that to me was because every time I smile, I had that bunny face.
I see.
And she said that it would prevent me from having wrinkles around here.
Absolutely.
So I had nothing at that time. It was just preventive care.
Absolutely. And I would also add one more thing. I know on Instagram and Facebook, there's a lot of videos on makeup. There's a lot of makeup artists and the eyeshadow, mascara, and so forth. You don't want to go through all of that trouble and do that work if you have a product in the cheeks that rises really high and creates lines underneath the eyes. Then you will ruin your makeup work. So it's very important to make sure that your physician or physician assistant or registered nurse or nurse practitioner knows exactly what they're doing and telling you why they're using the product they're using on you. There are literally over 10 different fillers on the market that you can use to rejuvenate.
Wow. I don't know about you guys, but when I first heard about all these things, I was like, okay, so what do I have to do first? Do I have to go today and then have it here, there, everywhere, and then am I not going to look just a different person all of a sudden because I've had all of the same time?
So here's what I would add just before you go forward. Always do the thing that bothers you first.
Okay.
Get that out of the way, and then we can look at other areas that may help with rejuvenation.
Oh, and something interesting about this. When I first had my treatment with Carl, I remember that he asked, "Oh, what bothers you first?" And what bothered me more was not actually what he saw. So we had different eyes, and the reason was that my view of what I didn't like was a lot more related to the reason I had that. Because I had my forehead so wrinkled because of the experience that I had that time. I didn't want to show that, and he didn't care about it. He said it was not too bad. But then I think we have to understand that what we see is not necessarily what other people see.
Absolutely.
So it's
Absolutely.
important that there is conversation.
Absolutely. What you see and what others see are totally different. Number one, when you look in the mirror, you're looking at a 2D image. You're looking at a flat mirror reflecting a flat image of you. When someone looks at you, they're looking at you in 4D. They're looking at you plus time. Plus they're seeing all of the angles, maybe even 5D or more. So they're looking at you comprehensively as opposed to you looking in the mirror at those lines. So as a male within this industry, I am looking at my client with different eyes than as Lacey looking at herself or than as another female looking at Lacey. So that's another component to it. I am seeing what the general male is seeing and likes and is attractive to him.
Oh, this is interesting.
That's one component.
Girls, if you're single.
So most of the time I will comment on what I think may need a little improvement to get my client to what they're looking for. It doesn't mean I'm going to do what I feel I need to do on her, because my client is the most important, and if she wants her forehead done, whether or not I see the issue being there, I will do it. However, I would advise on other areas that can be done. Also, this is still medicine. So we're still going to talk about health, the gym, and your diet. In any event, always do what bothers you first.
Great. Well, I think the question was, so what I have had done, like he said, I've had Botox and fillers, but then he was so excited about fillers, and so I've only had fillers here and a little here.
I see.
Right? And I know it's possible to have on the lips, like you said.
Correct.
But I also know that many people use the filler resource not because they want to rejuvenate, but because they want to look like they want to have fuller lips.
Correct.
They want to have a fuller cheek, which is not necessarily because they look old. It's just because they don't like the shape of their faces.
Correct. So in the past several years, we've actually evolved in this aesthetic market, going from anti-aging to more creating the look that you want. So yes, both can exist together, but I'm finding more patients are taking care of what bothers them more than whether they feel they look older. Taking care of anti-aging is multifactorial. You're going to use your Dysport or Botox, a little bit of fillers, but you're also going to take care of your skin. you're gonna use your skincare that works with you, not necessarily the commercial skincare that's top on the market today, but the skincare that your medical provider tells you is going to work better for your skin.
I was thinking now about men and women.
Men and women, and differences in terms of how they view treatments.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think there are two sides of a question here. One is the question: how do men really see the result on women? Like, if they, like, say, husbands, boyfriends, fiancés, if they really realize that something is done. And second, if they have adopted the treatments, if they're coming, if they want, they want to have Botox fillers and everything else.
This is a nice segue into what we will discuss at a later date, which is atraumatic treatments. Meaning treatments where when you leave my office, it doesn't look as though I stuck you with a needle. Treatments where when you go home, you don't have to hide your face from your husband or your brother or your cousin. Treatments where you can leave and go to the restaurant right away. So we will talk about that. However, men in general, in my opinion, whether it's at a medical spa like ours or the hair salon, I don't think they're always enthusiastic on having their significant others go as often as possible.
Okay, so we may be just really spending money on ourselves, for ourselves.
For yourself, and this is what it should be. You shouldn't be spending your money based upon what you believe your husband or your boyfriend likes, because you may not actually know what he or she really likes. You may not know. You may assume that he loves big lips because he made a comment on something he saw outside or on the television. But when your significant other is looking at you, he's looking at you from a different perspective than someone else who's looking at you that never met you before. So it's always going to have a discussion with your significant other about what they're like on you, and really have a discussion on what you may want to improve or rejuvenate or dabble in a little.
Okay, so you may or may not keep it a secret.
You may or may not keep it a secret. I've had many clients who keeps it a secret and others who don't. For me, I do my Dysport at times, forehead, glabella, crow's feet. I do my fillers in my cheeks and my chin, and really, I don't think it's very noticeable. But that's because it's
and
done
he
very
does
natural.
that to himself, his hands, his face alone.
Yeah. But it's again choosing the right product for the right individual would eliminate that moon face. It will eliminate those bagel lips. It will eliminate looking strange as opposed to beautiful. So it's understandable that sometimes we feel more is better or zero lines are better, and this is not always the case. You need something of your own characteristics that keeps you beautiful. So if you just eliminate every single line by pumping so much filler in the face that your cheeks are this wide and your lips are this large and your chin is that large, yes, it is smooth and there's zero lines, but it doesn't look like you and it looks strange, and people would rather not interact with you as opposed to engaging with you.
Yeah, and there is something that I think is very interesting, because, and that's then my field of work. Whenever you change your face too much, you also change the way that people interpret your intentions, because we communicate with our features, not only with things we say or gestures. So when you add more curves to your face, or when you get too many straight lines to your face, the things you are communicating without opening your mouth, without saying anything, will change. So it's very important that you really tell your PA what you want to communicate, so that the image you portray is the same you want and not something different.
Absolutely. The right product for the right job. I've treated many models. I've treated many individuals in the performance industry, whether they're singing or acting. And I will tell you, there are some of the most beautiful people you can come across. But if that, and even though that's the case, why are they still coming to me? Why? Because everyone has a little bit of lines. You know, if you take an 18-year-old girl, she's got some lines under her eyes. She's got a little, maybe needs a little bit issue, maybe the nose, maybe the. Everyone has a little bit of lines, and this is where our beauty extends from. Imagine if everyone looked the same with zero lines. You know, this is just not a beautiful thing.
A little imperfection is good.
A little imperfection keeps you who you are.
So I believe you said that there was something we were going to keep for next time, meaning there will be more.
There will be more. Atraumatic techniques. You do not want to leave your doctor's office looking battered and bruised and swollen and beaten up. You have to leave that office looking gorgeous. And this is atraumatic technique. So if you are leaving your doctor's office and you're hiding your face because it doesn't look right, then it wasn't necessarily the best TLC, tender loving care you received. Atraumatic techniques allow you to have your treatment done at lunchtime and go back to work. So next time we will discuss atraumatic techniques, but we'll also discuss more on the fillers, the different types of fillers, when to use fillers, when not to use fillers, and also the toxins and what areas of the face works better and the areas that last a lot longer.
And every time I get here, there's something that he tells me about that I make more questions, and I know that we'll have conversation for a long time. Right.
Yes, there's always questions, and I'm always here to answer questions. So if you ever, if you're willing to stop by, our consultations are free. In any event, questions, comments on Instagram, we'll be happy to answer them. Keep them a little short because there are many people we're responding to. But thanks for viewing us.
Thank you guys. It was so nice. Thank you so much. I love it.
My pleasure.
It was
Absolutely.
great. Bye.